James, an elite special ops officer, attends a ceremony honoring 3 comrades. He is a man of lethal skill, meticulously reviewing every mission briefing before stepping onto the field. To stay at the top, he maintains a grueling fitness routine while undergoing constant medical evaluations. A knee injury sustained in the line of duty forced him onto recovery medication, but his focus remains unshaken. Beyond the uniform, James is devoted to his wife, Brienne, and their son, Jack. He spends every second of his leave making up for months spent away from them, cherishing time with Jack and proving a hardened soldier's heart belongs home. One day, James is summoned to meet his new commanding officer, only to be hit with devastating news. His service is being terminated. The commander claims medical exams show a respiratory issue, coldly ignoring James's flawless combat record and his lack of symptoms. The situation worsens when the commander reveals that blood work shows prohibited chemicals. James explains he used the medication only to accelerate his recovery and remain in the unit out of loyalty to his country. Unmoved, the commander accuses him of breaking military law, offering a deal to keep it out of his file and avoid a court-martial, provided James accepts an immediate discharge with no pension. Stunned and struggling to process his sudden unemployment, James salutes and leaves the office in shock. Outside, a comrade tries to console him, revealing the new commander is purging the unit, firing many veterans to overhaul the entire force. James returns home devastated, and when Brienne suggests filing a complaint, he refuses, admitting his use of prohibited medication makes it impossible. Brienne grows anxious over their mounting debts, but James assures her he'll find work soon. Later, she delivers grim news. Another comrade has died after struggling with alcoholism, part of a tragic wave of veterans taking their own lives after being discharged. Sensing her fear, James promises he would never follow that path. At the funeral, he reunites with Mike, another veteran who was purged from the unit. Mike invites him to his unexpectedly luxurious home for dinner. Upon learning of James' financial struggle, Mike offers him a job at a private security firm. He explains they execute black ops for the government off the books, and James, seeing no other choice, agrees. A few days later, James meets the firm's owner, Rusty, a former general who has already meticulously studied James's file. When James questions the nature of their work, Rusty explains they handle clandestine national security matters, assuring him that the government legally contracts private firms for such operations. He reveals an upcoming mission in Germany under Mike's command, and hands James a $50,000 check to clear his debts. Thrilled, James returns home and gives the money to Brienne, lying about the source. Brienne grows suspicious, fearing the massive pay signals extreme danger or illegal activity. James reassures her, claiming the high salary is strictly due to the overseas nature of the work. The following day, James reports to the facility, surrendering his personal belongings as he prepares to deploy to Germany under a new identity. Upon arriving in Germany, James meets a teammate named Katya, who identifies their target, Salim, a virologist. When James questions the threat, Katya claims Salim is developing a new virus for criminal organizations. James begins surveillance, documenting Salim's family life and even uncovering his home security code. Days later, Mike and the team meet at a designated location where they arrive with heavy weaponry and tactical gear. Mike reveals that Salim has moved to Berlin to finalize his research, funded by a contact linked to criminal syndicates. He explains that Salim is creating a biological weapon in a lab near the forest, a location that provides the perfect cover for an infiltration. Mike reviews the final details, preparing the team to storm the facility. The team gears up and moves on the lab, swiftly neutralizing the guard and using his biometrics to breach the facility. They hunt through the halls until they corner Salim, binding him as Mike begins a cold interrogation, demanding the location of his research and any backups. Terrified, Salim insists everything is on his computer. A technical specialist confirms the data is there, but a sudden message from Katya outside shatters the moment. The police are closing in. Mike gives a ruthless order: kill Salim and torch the lab, making it look like a tragic accident. As they seize the computer, James approaches Salim to sedate him before the fire starts. Salim pleads for his life, desperate, claiming his research is meant to save lives, not destroy them. Hesitation flickers in James's eyes. The man doesn't sound like a terrorist. Salim reveals he has a backup in a safe deposit box, urging James to see the truth for himself. Shaken but committed to the mission, James ignores the plea, sedates him, and frees his restraints before the team sets the facility ablaze and escapes quickly. As they exit, the police are already there and a fierce firefight erupts. One teammate is killed instantly, and as Mike rushes to retrieve the computer, he takes a bullet to the leg. Katya is also hit and captured, but another teammate kills her to prevent her from being interrogated. James throws a smoke grenade to blind the officers, heaves Mike onto his shoulders, and retreats into the forest with the police in pursuit. They reach a river and plunge into the freezing water, swimming until they find a drainage pipe. They submerge and crawl through the filth until they emerge in the underground sewers. James immediately treats Mike's wounds and performs an emergency blood transfusion to save his life. Fearing the end, Mike asks James to be the one to tell his wife if he dies, but James refuses to let him give up. Hours later, Mike stabilizes, only to find James crippled. The old knee injury has flared up violently from carrying Mike's weight for miles. James insists Mike take the computer and finish the mission while he recovers. Mike agrees, promising to wait for him at the hotel in 24 hours as planned. The next day, James's knee improves enough for him to move. He emerges from the sewers, cautiously staying out of sight. Hearing nearby gunfire, he discovers it's only hunters and finds a parked vehicle stocked with food, water, and clothes. He takes the supplies and quickly retreats. By nightfall, he reaches the Rendezvous Hotel, finding his room empty but stocked with a new American passport and fresh clothes. After treating his injury, he waits for Mike's call, but silence follows. Once the mission's time frame expires, James heads to a subway station, buys a burner phone, and calls Rusty. Rusty claims they've already smuggled Mike out of Germany and urgently asks for James's exact location to send a recovery team before they are compromised. James provides the station's name, and Rusty directs him to a nearby bridge within 15 minutes to meet a specific car. Arriving at the bridge, James notices suspicious motorcycles circling the area. Realizing it's an ambush to eliminate him, he confronts Rusty over the phone, asking if he killed Mike. Rusty's silence confirms James has uncovered the truth. Suddenly, the motorcycles race toward James, and two men leap from the car, all opening fire as they chase him. James retreats and dives into the river, swimming hard until he reaches the opposite bank. He neutralizes one of his pursuers, seizes his weapon, and returns fire before disappearing into the sewer entrance beneath the bridge. Two men follow him inside, hunting him through the tunnels, but James ambushes them, critically wounding one and killing the other in a brutal struggle. He returns to the dying man and, upon searching him, finds a passport, discovering he was also a former army officer. The man gasps that Rusty deceived them, claiming they were on a government-sanctioned mission. When James reveals his own military background, the dying soldier apologizes, explaining they were supposed to be extracted from the country, but the orders changed at the last second. With his final breath, he urges James to take his phone and gets him a contact number for someone who can help. James leaves him there and exits the sewers. Exhausted from the relentless movement, James feels a sharp, agonizing pain in his knee and stops at a subway station to recover. In that moment, Dr. Salim's words echo in his mind, the mention of a hidden backup of his research. James races to Salim's house, gaining entry easily using the security code he memorized during surveillance. Once inside, he confronts Salim's wife, Sylvie, threatening her to ensure her cooperation. He demands the location of the backup files, and she reveals they are kept in a bank's safe deposit box. He forces her and her son into the car and speeds to the bank. Sylvie goes inside alone and returns with a tablet, handing it to James. However, the device is locked behind personal security questions about her and her family. After she provides the answers, James successfully accesses the files he's been hunting for. He leaves them and disappears into the night. Later, he calls the contact number he received from the dying pursuer. A man named Edie arrives to pick him up, but the moment James gets into the car, Edie injects him with a sedative and he passed out. After some time, James wakes up strapped to a medical bed, his body connected to various monitors. He struggles to free himself, but Edie tells him it's useless, reassuring him by showing his bag and confirming everything inside is safe. Edie then unbinds him, explaining that he treated James's knee before the injury worsened. When James regains his strength, he opens the tablet and finds a video message from Salim to his family. Salim reveals that his virus was actually a breakthrough designed to combat global diseases, a direct threat to the profits of pharmaceutical companies who wanted to seize it for themselves. James realizes Salim wasn't working with criminals, he was trying to save lives. Overcome with guilt and regret for Salim's death, James breaks down in tears. Later, while having dinner with Edie, a sudden bullet strikes Edie in the head, killing him instantly. Knowing Rusty's hit squad has arrived, James moves fast. He lights a candle, opens the gas valves to the max, and lets the house fill with gas. He grabs his gear, races to the top floor, and leaps from the window onto a nearby tree, sprinting away just as he hits the ground. As Rusty's men breach the house, the spark hits the gas, triggering a massive explosion that kills them all. James seizes Edie's car and speeds away, securing a flight back to America the next day. Upon arriving, he heads straight to Mike's house to deliver the news of his death to his wife, only to be paralyzed by shock. Mike is alive, safely playing with his son. Realizing he was abandoned and betrayed, James shadows Mike the following day on a motorcycle, following him into a secluded parking garage. When Mike parks on the top floor, a struggle ensues as Mike tries to unmask his pursuer, only to freeze in terror when James removes his helmet. Mike claims Rusty lied, telling him James was dead, and insists the mission was just a simple data heist. Furious, James disarms him and shoves him against the car, revealing the horrifying truth. The mission wasn't a heist. It was the theft of a cure for a deadly virus that Rusty intends to release to profit from the global suffering. Terrified, Mike warns that Rusty will kill them both if he finds out James is in the country, urging him to flee. But James stands his ground, demanding Mike's help to take down Rusty to protect themselves. Mike agrees, and that night he drives to Rusty's estate with James hidden in the trunk. Once past the gates, Mike leaps from the car and opens fire on Rusty's men, neutralizing two instantly and taking down a third before he can escape. Simultaneously, James slips out and circles the house to flank Rusty, who is locked in a fierce shootout with Mike. Mike manages to shoot Rusty in the abdomen, but Rusty returns fire, hitting Mike in the chest and sending him to the ground. James storms in to find Rusty wounded on the floor. Without a moment's hesitation, he fires a single shot to Rusty's head, ending him. James rushes to Mike and pulls him into the car, speeding away. On the road, James tries to reassure him he'll survive, but Mike, knowing his time is up, asks James to tell his wife and son he loved them before passing away. At dawn, James sets the car and Mike's body ablaze to erase the evidence. Finally, he returns home, watching his wife and son walk down the street from a distance, a bittersweet smile on his face as he finds peace in their safety. So friends, our today's video ends here. If you liked our video, then like it, share it, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.